Greeting everyone, I'm Kevin, and today is the second installment of FIKA with a book, where I pick randomly a book from this jar. In this jar I have a note for every single book that I have read that I've rated 3, 4 or 5 stars. If you want to see the first episode, it will be linked up there, where I talk about The Husband Gambit by L.A. Witt. So let's see which book is in store for us today. I'm gonna go with you. And it is At the Edge of the Universe by Shaun David Hutchinson. The first question is, which rating did the book get? I gave this book 3 stars. The second question, did you leave a review for the book on Goodreads? No, I didn't, which honestly would have helped me a lot if I did. The third question is trigger warnings. For trigger warnings, I would say anxiety, mental illnesses, grief, and loss. And abandonment too, I would say. 4. What scene do you remember most vividly? This is a spoiler, so if you don't want to hear it, skip to this time. The scene that I remember most vividly has to be when as the world is, shrinking. It is shrinking so much that it's only him and his room left, and he sees how it's kind of like shrinking, and he just slams the door and stands in his bedroom, and he has like an anxiety attack. And I remember that so vividly because as a depiction for anxiety, I thought it was very powerful, honestly. Number 5, change the title to A/the X of X and X. I will take a little liberty and change so it's the X, so X and X. And the title that I came up with is The Universe So Empty and Broken, which I think fits very well as the story has to do with that the universe is shrinking and that the entire thing behind that the universe is shrinking has to do with anxiety, mental illnesses, and the issues that our main character has, so that it's, as the universe is shrinking, it's becoming empty and broken. So that's why I thought of that title. Thoughts on the cover. I do like this cover, but I don't like it as much as We Are the Ants by Shaun David Hutchinson. So the same author. I do love We Are the Ants. This one I do understand where they're I understand why they chose this cover, but it's not the cover that I would have. I mean, it could have been, from the cover, you could have thought it was a ghost story, honestly. In my opinion, of course. Question 7. Would you use this in education? Why not? If yes, give examples. Maybe, honestly. I think it would fit my students' age range because I teach 16 to 19-year-olds. So I think this book, as it is young adult, I think it fits the age range very well. And I think a lot of issues dealt with in this book is very relevant for a lot of students. So I think it could be a great book to discuss mental illnesses, to discuss grief, and to have very important discussions. I think yes, this book could be used for education, absolutely. Number 8, does this book remind you of another story, book, TV show, etc.? I think the one that I think just spontaneously, it reminds me a little bit of Once Upon a Time. And why I'm saying Once Upon a Time is because the enclosed space, and that it's in Once Upon a Time they have this city, Storybrooke, and they only have that city. They can't leave that city, so their universe is that city. And as the time ticks by, their world kind of is shrinking in a way because the hope is shrinking and stuff like that. So that is the only story that I can think of spontaneously, on the spot. That reminds me, it's a very a long shot, of course, but that's the one that I can think of right now. Number 9, have you read any other books by this author? If yes, which books? The first book of Shaun David Hutchinson that I've read is We Are the Ants, which is amazing. It's a 5-star. I think I gave it 5 stars. I absolutely adored this book. So I was a little bit disappointed because I had very, very high expectations going into that book because I love this book so much. Last question. If there's a TV show adaptation coming up for this book, would you watch it? Yes. And no. I don't know. The thing is, just based on the story and the whole, I think it would translate extremely well to television. But the reason I'm saying no is because I shy away from stories that involve mental issues, like mental illnesses. I don't like to watch that. I can read about it, no problem, but seeing it is very triggering for me. So for this book, I think my mental issues will kind of be negatively affected by watching this story come to life. So if I have a very good day, if I don't have any issues mentally, I'm not having any I don't have any anxiety, I don't feel depressed, anything like that, then yes, I would watch it. I would be very happy if it comes out. I would of course scream about it on Twitter and Instagram, but I wouldn't watch it initially. So that was it for this week's Fika with a book. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, leave a like, comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this book. If you have read it, would you be interested in reading it? Why not? Please let me know and we can discuss down in the comments. And subscribe if you haven't. Good reading. Bye!